guys, welcome back to our Let's Play Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. This is going to be probably the last part in this Let's Play, part number 90, heading into the final episode of the special episodes. A fond farewell. Farewell to Labyrinthia, we embark upon a new adventure. It's time for the pageant to begin. So here we go. Boom. But we're not in the pageant. Well then, my boy, why don't you come get some tea ready for our guests? Right away, Professor. Man,
that was one wild and crazy ride.
Definitely. Everyone back in Labyrinthia seemed as plucky as ever.
Well, Mr. Wright, that's all thanks to everyone's efforts. For the longest time, our town was shrouded behind a thick veil of secrecy, but now it's absolutely thriving. And I too am thriving for the first time ever. I truly feel like myself.
I believe I speak for all of us when I say it is most reassuring to hear that, Isabella. Saying that, doesn't it feel like one heck of a long adventure? Indeed, in fact, that element of this very game seems to have been quite the long adventure in and of itself. Well, yeah, it had to go all the way from Japan.
The game's development, Professor?
Merging together two such distinct series as Professor Layton and Ace Attorney must have taken a considerable degree of thought in planning to get such a project off the ground.
Well, hey, clearly they were able to get the ball rolling pretty easily, or else we wouldn't be standing here.
That's right, I bet it was smooth sailing getting the idea through.
Quite right, Luke. Level 5 and Capcom both certainly saw the potential success of such a combination. This is driving me nuts, However, it was not quite a walk in the park to begin with. In fact, things were a bit uncomfortable at the start.
Is that right, Professor?
Come to think of it, things didn't exactly hit the ground running, huh? Professor, remember when they had us stand side by side for the first time? Indeed, I must say there was quite the bit of incongruity between the two of us, wasn't there? Definitely, and I'm pretty sure everyone more than noticed it too. I mean, all anyone has to do is take one good look at the two of us side by side. Our character designs are pretty different.
Yeah, that's true, Mr. Wright. You and Maya both look a little more, real than we do.
Oh my god.
Not to mention, Nick and I were, what, 2 or 3 heads taller than you guys?
3 heads taller is overkill, Maya.
But I never noticed any sort of strange discrepancies between you all.
They must have gone through all sorts of adjustments for the game, right?
Adjustments?
This is just an aside, but there's something rather odd that I became aware of. I felt as if I were gradually growing taller throughout the game's development.
Of course, you were getting more and more stylish by the day, huh, Professor? You know, I was playing the Professor's latest game just the other day, and I totally thought to myself, is the 3D getting weird as the Professor looks shorter in this game?
Oh my god. But you know, the Professor and Luke weren't the only ones that needed a little bit of adjustment.
What? Seriously?
I do believe Mr. Wright and yourself needed a bit of a height reduction for the sake of balance, Miss Faye.
Oh man, you mean to tell me Nick and I were both cut down to size? The developers never tell me anything.
It's a bit scary when you think about it, having to get used to being changed over and over.
That would have been funny if it just ended right there.
I have to say, though, the final showdown between Mr. Wright and the Professor was really very impressive. You said it, the final trial was sure was something else, and Professor, you were quite the sly fox, too.
Excuse me, Miss Faye, a sly fox?
You know how you told us how off to go fetch some evidence for the trial, Alpine, and left us to the trial totally unprepared. But then you kicked down the door to the courtroom like boom and completely took over the Inquisitor's bench. I was actually hoping I could have stepped in as Inquisitor, my lord. Inquisitor face senses that burger in my stomach.
Maya, do you even listen to yourself when you speak? No, I was just giving the players what they came to see, Miss Faye. After all, Versus is in the game's title, is it not? This is just absolutely nuts.
That's right, nothing says Versus like a dramatic courtroom battle, Professor.
Don't forget about the team puzzle, it proved to be quite popular, I think.
Ah, you're talking about that puzzle for opening the huge door down in the underground ruins, right?
Oh yeah, the puzzle that Nick moaned on and on about until he ended up trial and erroring it, right?
Resisting urge to object. Hey, I'd say that's sort of got a Versus kind of vibe. Us versus the puzzles, right? It would seem that our dear developers had quite a few different ideas on how to implement Versus in the title.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Remember in the initial storyboard? There was even a scene where the Professor and Mr. Wright face off against each other in a fencing match. Oh, that would have been awesome.
Fencing? Oh yeah, I totally saw that too.
I have to admit, I was pretty surprised to see that in the storyboard. I mean, pointing my finger at people is one thing, but a sword? That's a whole other ballgame.
It didn't make it into the final game in the end, though, did it?
No, unfortunately not, Luke. Yeah, but at least the Professor got to hack and slash those huge walking tin cans the storyteller called Knights.
That, I assure you, was a special case, Miss Faye. By the way, I've got to say, Maya, you surprised me. You're not usually the kind of person that literally leaps into action like you did when you saved Espella back in court. But you're definitely the kind of person that would get trapped in a steel cage of death and dropped into a raging pit of fire.
Well, yeah, hold it. What do you mean I don't leap in action? I can't leap. Who said I can't?
At any rate, there are a number of fun and interesting ways for the developers to play on the Versus theme of the game.
You said it, but honestly, it sounds like making this game was really tough.
Speaking of which, you know what else was tough? The developers' offices. I bet they had more than their share of disagreements.
Yeah, this is just a rumor, but I heard development on this game was so ridiculously tense. The developers ended up fighting, just like in those other Versus games.
So much for cooperation. Oh, man.
Mind you, that said, all of us have been able to get along quite amicably despite coming from two different games. On the other hand, the developers seem to use this opportunity to develop, let's say, a strong rivalry with one another.
Yeah, that's right. Couldn't have said anything better myself, Professor. Both were in the Versus spirit, after all.
Indeed. Whether contesting as fierce rivals or helping one another, it was all in the Versus spirit. The important thing is that everyone did their utmost, whether friendly or competitive.
Hey Nick, if someone were crazy enough to put you in a fight against someone, what would be your fighting catchphrase?
I'd have to go with something like, it's time to pay for your crimes.
While the methods of thinking may differ, the end goal is the same. Both paths will lead us to the right answer. That's right. I speak of puzzle solving.
Puzzles? Professor? Ah, right, I think I get what you're saying.
Well then, it appears our time together is coming to an end.
Oh, it is? Cool, that was fast, wasn't it? Yeah, tell me about it.
Are you ready, Mr. Wright?
Absolutely, Professor.
Let us combine our efforts one last time.
Alright, we're gonna say it.
And put this one final
puzzle to rest. Oh, we got a puzzle. Oh, man. Here we go. Alright, gotta drink some water for this one. Here we go. Final puzzle of the game. Puzzle 82, Eccentric Tailor 2. I think I played this one. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is an easy one, I think. A customer wishes to have their fabric design filled with color. Use a magical step to fill the customer's color in the design. Use the touchscreen to guide you. So we have... Alright, so we gotta get this part done. And the top part as well. And then we have to do this here. Then we have stamp up here, I believe. Cover this whole area. Oh, it keeps getting overlapped. Alright, let me start from the beginning here. We have... We'll start with the base. That's what we mainly need to focus on. So let's kind of work our way from the bottom here. Because I think that's kind of similar to what we did on the other one. So we'll do this side as well. And then... now we just gotta get this side covered. Oh, looks pretty close to done here. Let's get the middle part. Yeah, baby! The power of love!
Okay, let's give it a shot.
Booyah!
No objections.
No objections. Wonderful, that is quite the lovely design. The customer is sure to be pleased. Oh yeah! And that is it.
Adventures filled with mysteries and excitement will always be around. You never know where they may take you. I am sure our paths will cross again, Mr. Wright.
Yeah, I want to see another game of this with these two. Well, I guess this is farewell. Until then, Professor.
You two will be sure to come and visit us, won't you? Duh! Of course we will! You take care of yourself, Espella. Don't go near any bells or towers. We want to be able to see you again, you know? I can't wait, Maya. Oh, yes. We can't forget to thank you all for playing our game.
Oh my god.
We have our utmost gratitude.
No problem whatsoever.
It was thanks to you that true peace has come to our town.
And the people in the comment section for the support.
Even if it's just a fleeting visit, please do come back and see us in Olympia. What Bella's trying to say is, don't be a stranger and definitely come back and see us all.
I know I'll be giving the game another go very, very soon. Yeah, no, I think I will too.
Well, at any rate, this final special episode seems to have come to a close.
You really stuck it out with us through it all. Thank you for all of your support. I'm sure we're bound to meet again soon. Remember, our adventures aren't over yet.
I hope you all had as much fun as we did. From everyone in the Layton and Ace Attorney universe. See you later!
The end. Oh, there we go. All right, and perfect timing too. My 3DS is just about to go done. Saving the game. And there we go. That was the special episodes, and that was it for the game. I think we've pretty much just covered the rest of what the game can offer. Basically, it's a fantastic game, guys. Like I've said before, it is absolutely incredible. If you haven't played any of the Phoenix Wright games, go play those. I'm honestly really interested in playing a Layton game, so I'm definitely going to be asking that, or going to try to work on getting that very soon. So hopefully maybe we'll be able to play a Layton game sometime this year. And I think I want to do it in order of the games, just because I'm that type of person. So, but anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney on the Nintendo 3DS. Thank you guys so much for watching. Objection!
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.